The spokesman for Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin confirmed today that Ukrainian and Russian authorities had foiled a plot to assassinate Putin shortly after the Russian presidential elections, set to take place on March 4th. According to Russian intelligence services, there have been nearly a dozen assassination attempts on Putin, both during his previous presidency and current premiership. The most recent attempt was also in the lead-up to elections in 2008, when Putin handed over the presidency to Dmitry Medvedev. Also, nearly every Russian or Soviet leader has had such plots against them. This time, Russian TV station Channel 1 showed video of a man alleging that Caucasus Emirate leader Doku Umarov ordered the plot, and that one of the three plotters had come to Ukraine from the United Arab Emirates. The TV station also showed video footage ostensibly collected from the plotters, showing Putin getting into a vehicle, evidence that the group had conducted surveillance on the premier and were studying his protective details. Another telling detail that emerged from Channel 1 is that the attackers were tasked with going to Moscow, where they would stage attacks on commercial objects before conducting the assassination against Putin. This detail undermines the seriousness of the threat that the attackers posed. Vladimir Putin is an extremely hard target to get to, and any would-be attacker would need to utilize the element of surprise in order to have a chance of killing him. It's unclear how a strategy involving preliminary attacks would have worked. The group may have had reason to believe that the attacks would have caused some type of diversion, opening a window to attack Putin. However, conducting preliminary attacks would only raise the security alert level in Moscow and likely increase Putin's personal protection, a reaction that would risk compromising the mission. This detail indicates that the reported plotters practiced poor tradecraft and likely didn't have the requisite skills to pull off such an ambitious attack against a target such as Putin. The publicity storm that has surrounded the foiling of this plot raises suspicions, as it is a week until elections where Putin is likely to be victor and will resume the presidency. This scheme and the questions surrounding the culprits behind it come as Putin's likely return to the presidency is under fire from a large anti-Putin protest movement in Russia. The protest movements have brought out hundreds of thousands to the streets across Russia over the past few months, protesting Putin's return for a third term. What is interesting is that there is a strong nationalist undertone to these protests. Many, if not most, of the protesters have taken part in the past few years in the anti-Muslim Russia for Russians protest movement. Having a plot by a Caucasus Islamist militant group against the premier could possibly unify those protesters in supporting Putin going into the elections. So whether the plot was viable or not, this is likely in the favor of Putin during these politically unstable times.